the most listened to radio show on the planet, even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Louis Michelson with Business Talk Radio. I hope everybody's having a wonderful, safe day. We have a wonderful, wonderful guest speaker on today from Boulder, Colorado. She's an intuitive spiritual teacher, Amy Satori. How are we doing, Amy?
Good. Seems to be a time of reckoning right now. I hear so many people. It's justice. It's time for justice to happen in so many different ways. People are standing up for what they believe. They're getting empowered. I think one of the best ways to get empowered is to stay in the moment. And that's your freedom comes from within. So if we can all focus to just be like above anything, that is your biggest power. And I only say that because I've been enlightened before, and it is truly something you would never experience as a human being. But it's so dramatically different from being human. To be in that enlightened state, it's unreal, you guys. It's like you can just ponder something and it happens right in front of you. We really, truly are like made in God's image. We are creators also, and what we put our attention on is what we're manifesting. And at this time, what you're putting your attention on is exponentially growing larger. So watch what you're paying attention to and how you're thinking and what you're feeling about those things. Stay in that place of empowerment. Be wanting justice and stay strong and know that we've already won, at this time.
Yes.
And I'm seeing it from so many different angles. Like people are starting to stand up for themselves. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I don't think that needs to be violent. I don't think it needs to be getting caught up in a bunch of drama that doesn't need to, we need to stay, especially with this time of so much confusion and misinformation, all of it plotted, all of it planned, all of it geared towards steering us in a particular direction. So I wouldn't get riled up about anything, but just stay in your power and create justice however you can and whenever you can and with whom you can have it with. Just having had Father's Day, a lot of people are healing issues with their fathers, and honoring your father and mother has come up. And I think what that's about is not necessarily like if your parents manipulate you and things like that, it's not about that. It's about like having respect for them. Like back at that time in the Bible, they were really severely mistreating the elderly, really treating them terribly. So they were talking about something different. But when it comes to like honoring the father or the mother right now in this life, I feel like it's about forgiving them. It's about having compassion for them as human beings, that they weren't out to treat you bad. They were really, truly doing the best job that they could for who they were and for their own upbringing and all of that. And forgiving them is not like letting them off the hook. It's more saying, you don't affect me anymore. I realize you're a human being and you are who you are and you created me, and that I'm grateful for, but you no longer affect me in a negative way, and I'm taking my power back. Yet another way we're taking our power back, We don't have to blame anything in our past, anything at all, on the way that we are today, because essentially the only thing that's really true is this moment. You listening to this right now, that is the only thing that's actually true, because anything outside of this moment, what's happening right now, is the past. It's just in your imagination, and the future is just in your imagination. So your true power is making friends with this moment and staying right here in this manifestation mode, putting your attention on what you want to see happen. So forgiveness is a really important tool to be practicing right now. And again, it's not about condoning. It's about setting yourself free from whatever that dynamic is. I went kind of deep there, didn't I?
Yeah. You really got to think about that one because I don't know. I mean, I have a different view on forgiveness. I can forgive, but if it just keeps happening and happening and happening, oh, look at this! You got a phone call.
Oh well, look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, let them through. We're going to get back to that.
Okay. This is Business Talk Radio. Who's calling and where are you from?
Hi, this is Ambrosia. I'm from Colorado.
Ambrosia, hey.
Hey, Amy. Hi.
Hey, how you doing? It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
It is. I am doing so great. Thank you for being here.
Yay, you're welcome. Thank you, too. What's up?
So, I have like a strange, interesting question. I kind of want your feedback on an image that came to me in meditation, and it's like this mystery to me that I'm trying to understand why I was having this image. So I was kind of going deep into layers of like understanding why I have this, or I've had this feeling of like being unworthy of love, and I was kind of having impressions from like my childhood, and I had this distinct image of the Cochrane's house at night, which the Cochranes were this family that like lived in my town when I was a kid. And so I'm like, why am I like having, it felt like this vague impression of like a memory that I couldn't access, and I was just wondering if it's some sort of like negative repressed memory or just like a metaphor. I don't know. I'm like, why the Cochrane's house at night? What does that mean?
I'm not a very good dream interpreter, but I can definitely like read into the feeling. I mean, we can't all be experts at everything.
Sure. Yeah.
But let me, it actually feels like it's something subconscious and hidden, and it has to do with a past life thing that you've had with those people, and something kind of sneaking up on you in the night, something happening kind of unexpected that caught you unaware. And it's like having to mind your P's and Q's, and it's like walking on eggshells. Whatever relationship you had with them in the past, you had to walk on eggshells all the time, where they'd kind of snap a whip at you and keep you in line. So it's kind of, you guys might have some kind of a thing happen between you that's going to bring all this to light. But in a situation where you just totally don't get it or totally don't understand what's going on like that, just pray to know the truth and what's happening, to have it revealed for you. So, I mean, one of my favorite prayers is to say, show me the truth in all things. Please show me the truth in all things. And you'll get incredible answers from that. They said something about having to go back. They want to go back to the worthiness issue.
Yeah.
So they're saying that, it's about, this is because we started this talk with talking about justice. So I think this is your time, and this is your opportunity to actually stand up for yourself in this situation that again could be happening in the future. But for you to stay strong and have your own boundaries and assert yourself in terms of your rights. How close are you to the neighbor right now?
Oh,
like, what's the relationship?
My dad's in town. They moved away. I'll probably never see them ever again. I
have
no contact with these people. I have just like this memory of their house.
Okay. Let me see here. That's really interesting. Something happened. I think something happened there. Did they move out?
They did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'd have to do like a past life regression to take a look at it, because it looks actually like from colonial times for some reason. It looks like a really long time ago. But anyway, the worthiness though, I think that's coming up right now because you're going to go through a test coming up here. And you're going to have to, now this kind of leads into a little bit about what we were talking about forgiveness as well, in the sense that you need to have boundaries. Boundaries are super important. And forgiveness isn't about allowing the person to continue to do that at all. In fact, it's the opposite. Like, you stop the flow of people-pleasing, and you don't allow that anymore, and you assert very strong boundaries and forgive them. You like put them at a distance, you close the door, and you say, this is how it's going to be because this is safe for me. And then you just shield yourself, and then you forgive them, though. In other words, you don't hold that grudge and you don't hold the anger and all that stuff. You let all that stuff go.
Yeah.
But so it's going to be some kind of a test of your own worth in terms of, I deserve to be here. I deserve to however that's going to show up for you. They just said near future. Oh, boy. So I know. But it's good that this is coming to light, though. It's nice when they warn you so that you know when whatever this is that happens, you'll be able to like immediately say, no, that's not right. Yeah, I was just given a similar test, and I just had to really put my foot down and say, no, that doesn't work for me at all. So I'm not doing anything that doesn't work for me. Yeah. But so many of us are going to have these types of tests that are already happening for a lot of people, but they're coming up in all these different ways because you know what's happening that's exciting?
What?
We're clearing karma.
Yay!
Yay! It's all coming to a head to like get purged and cleaned out, It's stuff that we're overcoming once and for all. We got to like master these things as we can get triggered just fine, but we got to start mastering what our reaction is to those triggers. If somebody does wrong by us, we got to immediately forgive them, love them, understand them, be unconditionally loving as best we can for our sake, for our own sake, and for our own freedom, so we don't get caught up in all those negative feelings and allow them to take our vibration down. That's what we're mastering at this time. It feels like as the new earth is, as we're shifting into this new paradigm, and this old structure is falling away, it's crumbling, and it's looking really, some of the things that have come out of the shadows are pretty horrifying. And you're deciding right now. Everyone is deciding: do I believe in love or do I believe in fear? By how you're choosing to hold your vibration. So we're getting tested in so many different ways, but it is fearful to feel like you're unworthy. It is fearful to not forgive. It is fearful to hold on to anger and to lash out and to even, to go after justice in such a way that you're then causing the exact opposite of what was happening. Now you're the attacker, So we have to be careful in even how we're choosing to create justice. That's why we have a justice system. We let them take care of it. It's not a hostile act. It's actually quite peaceful, and you're bringing in a judge and a jury and everybody to decide what is actually fair. It's coming from that approach. How do we create a win-win for everybody in this situation and not go to the opposite extreme, but, drop all hostility and just do what is right now? How do we create that? And how do we get out of any kind of victim mentality? And also when it comes to worthiness, it's really, if you can drop the ego completely out of that whole scenario of worthiness, it is just what it is. And it's like if God or Spirit has given you something that you feel unworthy of, all it means is you have an issue with loving yourself. That's it. It means that there was probably something in the past that made you feel like you were a bad person somehow, and being a bad person, somehow you're not able to have good things. But the problem with that is that, God could very well have this incredible dream for you, or an incredible aspiration for you to grab hold of and run with and make a real difference in this world with. And if you just stand there like a weakling when he hands over you the torch, then that's not doing justice for anybody. It's not helping anybody to be in a victim mentality and say that I'm not worthy of this good thing. It's like, take the good thing and run with it and make good of it. Some people who have somebody who died, for example, will stay in that victim mentality. Oh, I have to keep missing them, otherwise they're going to go away. Or who am I to go live a happy life? I just talked to somebody a minute ago who was saying, you know, all these wonderful things are happening for me, all these incredible miracles are happening, and I feel really bad because everybody that I talk to, they don't have lives like mine, and they're not that happy, and they haven't found that true love. So it's, and I was just telling her, you don't have anything to apologize for. You just go enjoy that and be the best, you know, honor it the best you can, and help others to achieve the same things. Inspire others to have a life like yours, and you give them belief that they can have that happen for them as well. And anybody who's actually having that experience to the opposite, to where they see somebody else flourishing and they're not, if you can actually be happy for them and hold that space of being like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. If it's happening to her, it could happen to me, then you're attracting it rather than pushing it away. The envy and the victimhood and all of that keeps you really stuck. So I think it would require a past life regression to go through your issue and why you had that all happen. But I do believe, like for the purposes of the show, I do believe that you're just being warned of a test coming up where you're going to have to assert your boundaries and do what's right for everyone. Where it's our ego that's operating if we're going kind of overboard with it and really fighting too hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the truth needs no defending. If you're truly being honorable and honest and true, then you are standing in that power, and you're not going to be like emotionally reactive. You're going to be like, this is the truth, and you know that it's true. You know? There's going to be a confidence to it and an unswayability. But when you're weak, you're like, it's true, this is true, you know. And everyone's kind of like going, yeah, whatever. You obviously doubt yourself, or you wouldn't be having to shout it. Or, you know, if they get all defensive and their hackles get up and they have to attack and freak out, you're just like, no, you're not in your power. I'm not listening to you. Yeah. Isn't it true, though?
It's so true. Yeah, I was actually mentally preparing myself a bit because I'm going home to see my family, and I have that relationship with my mom where it's really difficult to uphold boundaries. That could be part of the test, but just preparing myself to be like, I'm going to do my thing, and if she's upset, it is what it is, you know?
Good. Okay, so how did, give me an example of a boundary you set with her and she walks all over.
Well, it's not so much that she walks all over. She just kind of manipulates through extreme displays of emotion and like guilt trips. So what I'm thinking about potentially happening is that I'll want to spend time with my father while I'm there, and I'll want to probably stay with him. And when I do that, she gets very jealous and will, you know, try to guilt me and make me feel like she's a victim and I don't love her and it's this terrible thing that I've done to her.
Okay.
And so at that point, there's kind of a like paralysis of fear, but instead I can just say, well, I'm going to see my dad anyway, and I love you, and I'm not going to, you know, sit here while you scream. Like, I'm just going to go for a walk or do something else, you know?
That's perfect. Okay. So here's something to keep in mind, right? Imagine that you had all of them on mute. Everybody was on mute. Everybody's on mute, like a remote control. Okay. They're all on mute, right? Imagine that. That means that your ego left, pretty much. It means that your ego is not your ego is just totally at peace. I mean, that you are in peace in the moment, in your true authentic self, and your ego is on mute, right? So you're going to walk into that situation, and your mom's going to go blah, 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 and that's really all you hear. And all you could do if you didn't speak her language, wouldn't you just like put your hand on her shoulder and be like, I love you, Mom, and give her a big hug and just walk out the door and do your thing?
Yeah.
That's really all you got to do is just, what's happening is you're listening to those words and you're feeling, you know, that guilt gets activated in you because you're believing what she's saying.
Yeah.
So if you were to just not listen to the actual words she's saying, but just hold that space of love and just be like, this is what I am doing. I'm staying in my father's house, and I'm coming over here to share the space with you because I love you. And then I'm going back over to my dad's house, and I'm coming back over to you, and I'm coming. It's really just that simple. You know, anything more that we make of it is just how we're choosing to treat ourselves. So if you're loving yourself, then you're just going to walk into that situation and not listen to a word that she's saying and just, like, see right through it, smile at her, tell her you love her very much, and don't say a word to combat it. Because when somebody's caught up in their ego like that, like she is, You cannot reason with anybody like that. If their hackles are up like I was talking about, if they're like all engaged in that egoic space, there's no way in hell that you are going to win. There's no way that you're going to be able to calm her down or talk sense into her at all. So you may as well just smile, tell her you love her, and walk out for your own sake.
Yeah, absolutely.
And why subject yourself to the beating? And really, and here's another thing that might help you too, is if you can't, like if you're getting caught up in her words, imagine that you're holding a mirror up to her. In your own mind, imagine a mirror. And imagine how all the things that she's saying actually pertain to herself. Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
She's getting triggered because of what it's like, you oughta blah, blah, blah. And you'll be sitting there going, oh, my God, you really oughta da, 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 da. You know, you'll be like, whoa, Mom, you really got to do that. You know?
Yeah.
You need to be dedicated to me. Yeah, Mom, you do. You need to be. It'd be funny if you even just did that. You know, if you're like talking to your mom and she says this to you and you're like, Mom, you really do need to do that. You know, how far could she get if it keeps coming back at her? She'd be so mad, but it would be like she'd go away scratching her head going, maybe she was right.
Yeah.
I do need to do that for myself.
I wouldn't be afraid, or like the walking on eggshells like you were talking about, like trying to figure out what to say not to make her mad. It's like, it's not my problem. I'm just gonna
totally. And one thing that'll help when you're actually in the situation, because I know anybody tends to just like get whoa when they're being attacked like that. Yeah. But one thing that would be really good is to divide your attention. Like put your attention on the aliveness in your body, the tingling. Practice doing it before you go see her. Just practice cultivating that feeling. Wow, I feel all this energy in my body, this feeling that I'm alive. I'm animated right now, and I'm moving my fingers and toes, and, you know, just really concentrate on that vibration of your body while you're talking to her. Split the attention, and that's going to bring a lot of space through to that conversation, and it's also going to help you stay more anchored in presence rather than getting caught up in what it is she's saying. And like I said, you won't get so caught up in it, too, if you realize she's only talking about herself. It's got absolutely nothing to do with you at all.
Yeah.
They just get real clever, and the ego, you know, jumps in their body and goes, ooh, we'll get her good. I know what she feels bad about. I can use that. Boink, and they push that button. But if you can go in with this objective of not letting it affect you, and really being the space for her to be able to express everything, it's like you can be her, I don't even want to say sounding board, but you can just be the space for her to just blah, 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 blah. And you could even say the word, I respect your power. Don't say it to her out loud. But in your mind, wow, I respect your power. Look at you getting that out. Look at you trying to manipulate. Look at you trying to yell and scream. And wow, just be like amazed at the power of somebody trying desperately to make you do what they want you to do. You know, just observe it. And it'll take a lot of the angst out. You won't get so hooked or caught up into it. Just don't get caught up in the stories, basically. Know that it's her. Right. Stay in the moment. See her reflected at herself. Respect that it's not about condoning. Respecting somebody's power like that is more just being like, wow, look at her go. Look at her do her thing. Good for her. Like, I would never have the guts to manipulate someone like that or scream and yell and, you know, guilt them into things. Like, wow, look at her go, though. Don't I wish I could be something like that sometimes, and I can't, you know? Just appreciate it. And you would be so surprised how she might even, if you keep saying that in your mind, I respect your power. I do. Look at you. Look at you. I respect your power. If you like think that, like keep repeating that like a mantra and ignore what she's saying, you'll be amazed what starts to come to you, and then you'll see her just completely relax, and she'll just drop her guard, and she'll just stop. It's so I've seen it so many times. It's crazy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, they just like make an about face, and you're just sitting there going, did that just happen? Or if they don't.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, and if they don't, you just walk away. You know, I love you, Mom. I'm going to go. And you know, it's like with anybody, it's like you either reward their behavior by staying in their presence, or if they start being a way that totally is not cool for you, just remove yourself. And assure them, I love you, but I'm out of here. I'm not going to listen to this. I'm out. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's respecting my power, so that's pretty great.
Yes. Exactly. When we respect the other person and how they're expressing themselves authentically or inauthentically, you know, but authentic for them in that moment anyway, because that's really how she's feeling. You know, when you respect them, it's true. You do love and respect yourself right back. I think you're going to do great. I think you're going to really impress yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Amy. I just appreciate that, like, wonderful pep talk.
You're welcome. And this is going to get posted on YouTube afterwards if you want to go listen to it again if you need to beforehand.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck. I know parents are so triggering, man.
They are, but I have to just have gratitude for it because, you know, I needed to be triggered like that, so it's all part of the plan.
Yeah, it's just deeper and deeper healing. Just know that this is an incredible opportunity for you to rise above it and purge it once and for all and say, this is not what I'm tolerating. This is not the behavior I want in my life with anybody.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yay.
All
Have
right,
a beautiful
day. Thank you very
day.
much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was the whole show. All right. Well, it's that time. You got to give out your information. Once again, Amy, how to get in touch with you.
All right. You just go to www.amysatori.com. I've got all my information on there. Or you can put my name in a YouTube search and look for the Pink Lotus. And I put the show up after every show. And then after the show also, I go live to answer either general questions, usually about love. A lot of people call about love. But you can ask a general question about love. Or you can pay $11 for me to answer a personal question on there as well. And I go for like an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. But you could come to YouTube right after this, and you'll be able to see me live, and we can chat over there. I'm also on Instagram. Just put in Amy Satori in Instagram, and you'll find me pretty quickly, too.
Sounds great, everybody. You've been listening to it. She helped that person the entire time. That was wonderful. This is Louis Michelson at Business Talk Radio, and we are talking to the wonderful Amy Satori, and she is wonderful. She can help you no matter what you have going on in your life. So don't leave us. We will be right back